So namaste everyone, मैं हूं सब पे भारी आकाश तिवारी and with me we have Mr. Vinod Ranganathan. Finally we are here.
Okay, so I'm Vinod Ranganath and not Ranganathan. So
Oh, I'm so sorry. Shit.
yeah.
What a good start, Akash. Amazing.
So a lot of people, unfortunately, being a South Indian, they think that there is a suffix of an, which is not there in my case. So I'm Vinod Ranganath. I've been a scriptwriter for over 28 years. I am 56 years old. I am a born and brought up complete Mumbaikar. Though I'm a South Indian, I consider myself a Mumbaikar, a Maharashtrian. My roots are from Kerala, so I speak my mother tongue very fluently. So I'm a Mallu at heart, but I'm also a Maharashtrian, because I've grown up here. I went to St. Xavier's, Mumbai, passed out some donkeys years back. I've been doing theatre for nearly 40 years. I started when I was 17, so I'm 56. So yeah, that's nearly 40 years. It started with St. Xavier's and then went on. I did theatre with Satyadev Dubey, who is like my guru, father figure, everything. He passed away 10 years back. And then I continued doing theatre with Sunil Shanbag and his theatre group, Arpana. So theatre is where my entire base was as far as anything to do with arts is concerned. So that gave me that solid grounding. I just loved the smell of the backstage of the theatre. Just felt wonderful standing on a stage. But more than an actor, I've been a director, sound guy, light guy, and things like that. And when I was very fortunate that when I did my theatre with Satyadev Dubey, at that point of time when Dubey was doing theatre, his plays, they were mostly done with Nasiruddin Shah, his wife Ratna, Akash Khurana, and Amrish Puri, and Sunila Pradhan, and things like that. So I used to be the light sound guy for Dubey. So I used to be with him at rehearsals. And इससे बड़ी learning और कुछ हो ही नहीं सकती कि आप बैठे हो और आप नसीरुद्दीन शाह को रिहर्स करते हुए देख रहे हैं. मतलब वो आदमी आके हर रोज बैठ के रिहर्स कर रहा है और आप सिर्फ देख रहे हो उस आदमी को कि कैसे वो कैरेक्टर में घुसता है, कैसे वो क्या करता है. I mean, I was very fortunate. I mean, I really believe that all the gods or whatever they are up there, they blessed me with that because उससे बड़ी learning और नहीं हो सकती. At the same way, Amrish Puri. Puri Saab unfortunately got typecast as a villain in Hindi feature films because of his personality, because of his booming voice. But what an actor on stage. I mean, there is a whole generation who hasn't, unfortunately, passed away also some 15, 16 years back. But there's a whole generation who hasn't known Amrish Puri, the theatre actor. He cut his teeth at theatre. He became an actor in films at the age of 45, 46. Before that, for 20 years, he was a theatre guy. And he continued doing theatre all through his busy film schedules. So one thing led to the other, and I never really wanted to do a 9-to-5 job. And I had already started, adapting plays and directing them and things like that. So adapt करते समझ में आया कि मैं लिख भी सकता हूँ. ऐसे करते करते जब 92, 93 में टेलीविजन जस्ट शुरू हो रहा था, सैटेलाइट टेलीविजन, I got my chance and then one thing led to the other and I never looked back. So it's been 28 years since I've been writing and I've been lathering my soaps, as I say, and I've been lathering it for all these years. That's my brief bio to you.
Nice. Amazing. So I'm going to come to theater. I'm going to come to your direction and writing part, the TV serials and movies. Yeah. Okay, आपने एक पूरा चंक मिस कर दिया कि आप मूवीज भी कर चुके हो लाइक इश्क विश्क एंड ऑल एंड
राइटिंग में मैंने 8-9 फिल्में लिखी हैं जिसमें से 5-6 हिंदी हैं, बाकी मेरे मदर टंग मलयालम में लिखी है मैंने.
First question, direct question, like you have been part of SWA, FWA, like Writers Association and stuff.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what is their role in that? Okay, and what happens, what do they do?
Okay, so like any trade union, it's a trade union, right? It is governed under the Trade Unions Act. So as a trade union, our job is to protect the rights of our members. Since we have been winning the elections for the past 11, 13 years now, continuously, our group, we have systematized a lot of things in the association. We have brought in what is called an online registration. We started a website. We brought in an online registration. So before I come to that, what does a union do? So what the union does is that it tries and gives whatever little help it can financially to writers who are on, who who need money for various reasons. We give money for medical assistance. There is a cap on it, of course, but we give whatever medical assistance we can give. We give up to 50,000 rupees for really needy people who need medical assistance. And sometimes if it's an exceptional case, it might go up by a couple of thousands. We have what is called, which is one of our primary functions is of what is called the Dispute Settlement Committee, which is called the DSC. And unfortunately, I was the chairperson of that for 10 years. I just gave it up a couple of years back. It's a very time-consuming job, so I also was busy writing, so I kind of quit that. But what does this Dispute Settlement Committee do? So that Dispute Settlement Committee basically takes care of what is known as a dispute between two individuals. So it could be a dispute between a writer and another writer, or it could be a dispute between a writer and a producer or a director. So these disputes come in two forms, basically. One is non-payment or payment issues, and the other is the credit and the copyright part of it.
Okay. And this is like everyday issue. Okay,
yeah.
Every other issue.
Yeah. So what also happens is that, let me also tell you that we are not a judicial body. We're not even a quasi-judicial body. So we लोगों को लगता है कि मेंबर बन गए यूनियन का तो इनका काम है लड़ने के लिए लड़ो. हम लड़ नहीं सकते. हम रिक्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं प्रोड्यूसर को या डायरेक्टर को कि आइए बैठिए across the table हम dispute solve करते हैं. We don't have any गुंडागर्दी and दादागिरी के प्रोड्यूसर को कान से पकड़ लिया बोला चल पैसे दे. वो सब
यूजुअली यूनियंस का ऐसे ही होता है, लाइक एक इमेज है एक साथ.
वो एक गलत फहमी है बाकियों का. हम ऐसे नहीं करते. इनफैक्ट
हैव यू बीन देयर लाइक ऑन अ फाइट, किसी के दरवाजे में ऐसा गुंडागर्दी किया आपने?
नहीं ऐसा तो हुआ नहीं है. प्रोड्यूसर आगे हम पे चिल्ला के गए हैं, वो अलग बात है. So it's a very stressful job also. But what we do is we try and settle the issue. You see, the other thing is that there's also so I'm delving a bit into this because a lot of people do not understand what it is to be part of a dispute. लोगों को लगता है कि मेरा आइडिया था, मैंने बताया, देख चोरी हो गया, अब उस पर पिक्चर बनी, सीरियल बनी, OTT में ये बन गया, जो भी बन गया. तो हकीकत ये है कि which I would like all the viewers who are going to listen to this and watch this कि देखिए आइडिया का कोई कॉपीराइट नहीं होता. Please understand, there is no copyright for an idea. Copyright is for the developed part of the idea, which is a concept note or a story document. It is actually, in legal terms, it is called the expression of the idea. Expression of the idea में copyright होता है. Idea पे copyright नहीं होता है. मतलब अगर मैंने बोल दिया कि यार I am thinking of making a film on the first Indian mission to moon. अब ये idea है. अब 10 लोगों ने ये सोचा होगा और किसी ने जाके एक पिक्चर बना ली. आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि देखा मेरा आइडिया चोरी हो गया. Because ये आइडिया है. Idea is a thought. Anybody can get a thought. When does it become copyrightable is when it is expanded, when there is an expression given to it, where you're saying who is going to go to the moon, which are the people involved in it, what happens on that mission before or after or when they are going to the moon, where you're detailing the characters, where you're detailing the story, where you're detailing the world in which it is set. That has copyright. And when that is exactly in toto picked up and translated somewhere else, then that becomes a copyrightable case. Otherwise, there is no copyright.
So basically, मैंने ये सुना है कि like if you just copyright and all, कि there's something like 40. ऐसा सुना, I don't know about the facts, like 40% match नहीं करना चाहिए, ठीक है? तुम्हारा content and that.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. ऐसा कुछ
There's nothing like that.
No. This is all wrong information being given. So there's no such thing as a percentage. It is up to the people who are assessing the two different works and trying to figure out how much. Look, it is like this के look at a film like शोले और आपने पूरी पिक्चर कुछ और बना ली लेकिन गब्बर आपने उठा के दोनों में सेम है. तो अभी आप ये नहीं बोलते ना सर गब्बर तो क्या 5% भी नहीं है फिल्म का. अरे पर वो गब्बर का कैरेक्टर है. वो कैरेक्टर इतना बड़ा है शोले में, उसी को आपने उठा के कहीं और डाल दिया. आपकी पिक्चर लव स्टोरी है पर उसमें आपने गब्बर रख दिया. तो यू कैनॉट से ना कि वो चोरी नहीं है. तो इट्स नॉट अबाउट अ परसेंटेज. इट इज अबाउट, एज आई टोल्ड यू, द एक्सप्रेशन.
Got it.
So that's what we look for. But it is also, if you look at it legally and if you look at all the cases that have come about, you will realize that very few cases actually win in terms of copyright cases.
Exactly,
because it is very difficult to prove the exact amount of copying. What wins the case? There have been a lot of cases that have won. What wins the case is confidentiality. उस पे आप केस जीतते हो कि भाई मैंने आकाश को एक स्क्रिप्ट भेजा है ना, आप प्रोड्यूसर हो, मैं राइटर हूं, मैंने आपको स्क्रिप्ट भेजा, मैं स्ट्रगल कर रहा हूं अपनी जिंदगी में, आप बहुत बड़े प्रोड्यूसर हो, मैंने आपको स्क्रिप्ट भेज दी है, आपको पता भी नहीं होगा कि विनोद रंगनाथ ने आपको भेजा है, मतलब ईमेल पे तो दिख गया होगा विनोद, बट यू डोंट इवन नो हु विनोद रंगनाथ इज, यू नॉट इवन मेट हिम, बिकॉज दैट हैज गॉन टू योर स्टोरी डिपार्टमेंट इन योर कॉर्पोरेट कंपनी, एंड दो स्टोरी डिपार्टमेंट पीपल रीड दिस स्क्रिप्ट एंड दे फील कि यार ये आइडिया बेसिकली इसका प्लॉट जो है इंटरेस्टिंग है, एंड दे आर वर्किंग ऑन सम अदर प्लॉट ऑफ सम अदर फिल्म, ओके, एंड दे पिक अप दिस प्लॉट, समबडी सेज कि यार वो आइडिया अच्छा था उसमें यार, और उसको भी याद नहीं है. सी मेनी अ टाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस आकाश इज कोई जानबूझ के चोरी नहीं करता. लाइक आई एम अ टीचर आल्सो, राइट? It's a very important part of my life. I've been teaching for over 20 years. Script writing. I've started the TV and web writing course at the Film Institute, FTI Pune. I'm a guest lecturer there. I'm a guest lecturer at Whistling Woods. I conduct my own courses. In the process of teaching, look, I have to give students feedback, which means I read their scripts. So I have taught more than 200, 300 students. अब मेरे दिमाग में मुझे भी याद नहीं है मैंने किसका क्या कभी सुना था. अभी कोई आइडिया दिमाग में बैठ गया किसी स्टूडेंट का, मुझे याद ही नहीं. मैं लिखते लिखते अगर मुझे कहीं पे अटक गया, ये आइडिया आ गया, मुझे बोला यार ये आइडिया अच्छा है, कहाँ पढ़ा मुझे याद नहीं. अब वो स्टूडेंट का आइडिया था, किसी किताब में पढ़ा था, नॉवल में पढ़ा था, you know, it was a news.
That idea is like in your subconscious में से बैठा हुआ है क्या?
Subconscious. I write it. Now that student will wake up and say, सर ने मेरा चोरी किया. बराबर है. तो ये होता है आकाश, you know, ये होता है. So what happens is it's a breach of confidentiality that gets proved in a court of law and not copyright. Because copyright proof करना बहुत मुश्किल है. कि आपने मतलब देखो कोई भी इंसान अगर वो वाकई चोरी कर रहा है, वो इतना बेवकूफ नहीं है कि सीधा का सीधा उठा के चोरी करेगा, वो उसमें बदलाव लाएगा, ये तो वो फिर वो बात रहेगी ही नहीं जो आप जो कह रहे हो ना, जो मैंने ही कहा कि एक्सप्रेशन आपने बदल दी, तो बट आपका वो जो मेन थॉट था आपका वो तो चला गया. प्रूफ क्या होता है? प्रूफ ये होता है कि भाई मैंने पहले आपको भेजा था, ईमेल का प्रूफ है, और आप कुछ भी एक्सप्लेनेशन दे उसका, आपको ये भेजा गया था, उसके बाद आपने पिक्चर बनाई, मतलब आपने इसमें से ले लिया. सो इट्स ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी दैट गेट्स प्रूव्ड मोर देन कॉपीराइट.
Got it. Nice.
So a lot of people have this thing के आइडिया चोरी किया देगा हो गया. नहीं यार, आइडिया चोरी होता ही है, होगा भी, क्योंकि आइडिया किसी को भी मिलता है. My maid who sits and watches all the daily soaps running here, there are times when I'm walking around, she'll tell me, क्या भैया ये क्या लगा रहे हो, ऐसा करो ना, वैसा करो ना, ये तो बोर हो गया. It's an idea she's given me. Okay, I take that idea and I say, यार ये बोली अच्छा बोली है यार, करेक्ट है, मैं कुछ कर लेता हूँ इसका. So that has no copyright.
Yeah, I need to talk to your maid and ask her to mail you these ideas.
So that's one major aspect of dispute. The other is about payment and credit. Credit is very important, so sometimes credit is not given correctly, so we fight for that. We fight for the payment schedules when the payment is not paid for whatever reasons.
Got it. So like I know every writer का एक ऐसा process या होता है कि you have to register your script or something. So does that also come under your department, like registering the scripts? कि एक proper एक अलग होता है.
It comes in SWA. SWA has that's what I'm saying. So we started a website. And our portal is there, so if you're a member, you can just go and register your script online. You don't have to physically go to the office. So it's a very easy thing. You just click in, you write in your membership number and your password and whatever. It's a 5-minute process.
Got it. But like this is not like an official body. Like it's like it's a recognized union. मतलब ऐसा है कि हाँ SWA में जाके write करना है. Like that is a union, जैसा producers guild हो गया. वैसा type का एक
है ये. So you go and register yourself, and that registration is accepted by the courts.
Okay.
Actually, you're supposed to get it registered at the Copyright Society in Delhi. That is what is actually copyrighted material.
Got it.
Right? But दिल्ली भेजो, बहुत 4 महीने लगेगा, आपको आज सूझा है, कल प्रोड्यूसर को मिलना है, आप कैसे, कौन वेट करेगा? तो राइटर एसोसिएशन में आओ, आप थप्पा लगा दो, जो स्टैम्प लगता है जिसमें डेट और टाइम होता है. सो इट बिकम्स कि हाँ भाई ये आदमी ने आके ये कर दिया. सो दिस इज एक्सेप्टेड. अ लॉट ऑफ बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट डिसीजंस, wherever our cases have gone there, they have accepted our registration as a valid registration.
Okay, got it. So like obviously ये body के regarding last one question I have is कि suppose you guys have this obviously access of writers जहाँ पे आप लोग उनके लिए सब कर रहे हो, provide कर रहे हो facility, and you guys would be having meetings as well कि अभी हम लोग को क्या करना चाहिए next year, क्या होना चाहिए every month. Yeah, exactly, right. So ये meetings में क्या बात होती है? Like what does this meeting
so it depends on what we have in our manifesto, what we had planned. So we do a lot of skill development and educational aspects also. So I just completed doing a 2-day workshop a week back. on behalf of SWA, where we had more than 110 people attending. It was on story development for web series. So we have workshops, we have this, we have script competition, we have pitch fest, where we invite writers who are members of ours, and we have the producers' bodies there. We ask them to come and pitch. So there's a pitch fest that happens. We have conferences. Every once in 2 years, we have a conference. We have a seminar every year, where we talk about the latest scripting trends. We actually call people, and conferences have been huge hits. I mean, since we started it in 2010 at Andrews, we have packed houses. I mean, we have 800 to 1,000 people attending 2 days, 3 days conferences. And we have people from all over India coming for these conferences and speaking and, things like that. So it's all script related. So we do that. So those are the things that we talk about, that what else to do. We have an event subcommittee which organizes various events. So if you're a member of SWA and you go to the SWA website, or if you like the SWA Facebook page or Twitter page, or you follow it on Twitter, you'll keep getting events which are happening. So there are events which we do. We have a very successful event called Vartalap, where we get a well-known writer who's interviewed them in front of an audience. So he talks about his craft, he talks about this. Then we sometimes have people from abroad who come down and they conduct a masterclass. So we do that. So in our meetings, basically, always we are trying to talk about what next best to do, because we worked out an agenda for ourselves for the 2 years we are here. So we try and achieve those agendas during these meetings. We started our own awards, the Screenwriters Awards last year, which have become very popular. So the second award is going to happen now in another couple of months' time. It's online right now.
Okay.
We had wanted to do it at Andrews as a live event, but because of this pandemic, we are doing it as an online event.
Yeah.
So we're doing all these things. So there are lots, apart from the charitable work that we do, like we've helped a lot of people during the pandemic, people who have been hospitalized and otherwise, and people who because of pandemic didn't have work. They were desperate for money. So we distributed monies and ration. So that is the part of what the trade union does. But apart from that, we also do all these things, which is the educational aspect, competition, script comp. We've tied up with Cinestan. So every 2 years, we have the Cinestan film script competition. The first year, there was Raju Irani and Amir Khan, who were the chief jury.
I think so. I saw a video on YouTube, maybe. Yeah.
There is a jury there. So those films get picked up. They get paid fabulously, 35 lakhs, 25 lakhs, and 15 lakhs for the first 3 people, So there are all sorts of things that we are doing, It's not just the charitable work. That's what I mean.
Yep. That's nice, man. It's great to be a part of this body who are innovating or something, or, working up for everyone. So it's like you guys need to plan 2 years, 3 years forward. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, there are 2 things we are doing, which is very important. Is we are coming up with what is called a minimum basic contract, which is the MBC. We've created one for film, we've created one for TV, and we're creating one for web and lyrics.
Nice.
So what it means is that, so that is available. That contract is available on our website. So any new writer who doesn't know what it is, because legal, किसको समझ में आता है? So we download that, and आपको सारे important clauses जो आपको याद रखने हैं कि ये नहीं करना है. जब producer ये डालेगा तो इसको sign मत करो.
Oh wow, damn.
ये सब हमने रखा हुआ है. So we have this MBC which we are negotiating with the producers' bodies, where we are saying that this is the basic minimum that you have to pay to any writer, whether he's a young guy, new guy, whatever. पहली बार लेकर आए उसको तब भी आप इतना pay करो उसको. ये minimum pay करना है. And we've made a lot of progress with it, as far as getting through to them is concerned. See, their mindsets also have to change. They are also sitting as producers with a lot of power. So ये कौन होते हैं आके हमसे बात करने वाले? वो थोड़ा अभी कम हो गया है, because the producers of today are far more friendlier, the younger guys,
Okay.
They understand. And in TV especially, also the most producers who are producing television today, not OTT, I'm talking about television, they're all writer producers. So they are writers themselves. So they also understand. So we're working towards that, so that in the next year or two's time, we have this MBC, which is there for everybody.
This is the best thing. Like, ये सबसे important चीज है. अगर ये हो गया तो like बहुत crazy scenes हो जाएंगे. So like, okay, so like coming to obviously television आपने बोला. Okay, now आप like you are writing television जब से मैं पैदा भी नहीं हुआ होगा, ठीक है? मतलब okay, so point ये कि like you know Swabhimaan, Manoj Bajpayee, like lot of TV serials you have done, and obviously Ishq Vishk, like again I remember the whole movie, Shahid Kapoor, I think so Shahid Kapoor का first movie, right? Yeah, so you have written that as well, and a few other films as well. Like what is this one thing जो television में work हुआ है for you, but it has not worked for film, or vice versa? Like it can be one thing, but what is that one thing which has worked for you here but यहाँ पे नहीं हुआ, या यहाँ पे हुआ, यहाँ पे नहीं हुआ, ऐसा?
See, in television, I'll tell you what worked for me was that, without sounding very pompous, the whole daily soap thing started with me, with Swami. जब दुनिया में कोई डेली सोप नहीं करता था, मैं कर रहा था. तो एकता कपूर का भी पहला डेली सोप इतिहास मैंने लिखा.
Oh yes, yes.
Before क्योंकि कहानी and all came, her first daily soap Itihaas, which used to come in Doordarshan, I wrote it. ZTV's first daily soap Kartavya was written by me. So this whole trend of daily soaps and what is happening today, somewhere which I started at one point of time. So what works for me is that, look, that is a structure I have been writing for so many years now. I understand that structure compared to film. So it makes it slightly more, not easier, but I can get into it faster than, say, a film. A film is a completely different medium of writing. It is very different from TV. So as I told you, I've written 8 to 10 feature films. Okay, they are all. I'm very happy that I wrote those films when I did them, whatever that did. But also, what happens is, see, in TV, the writer is the king there. In the TV OTT space, the writer is the king.
Yeah, and also the music producer, like Dhumta Dhumtan.
वो तो खैर वो तो अलग है, but TV में especially, the writer is, in a film, it becomes a collaboration between the writer and the director. So you also need to, when you're working in feature films, what happens is, you need to have a director with whom you have a nice talmeil. अगर वो नहीं बैठता है, you have a director who is somebody very big, then he will overshadow you, and you have no other option but to write what he wants or what he thinks is right. You may not agree with him, but then it's your call whether you want to write that film, whether you want to make that film, or you don't want to do that.
Got it.
Right?
This is one, हाँ, मेरे को याद है, like usually directors writers का एक होता ही है, like even I've seen like lot of more. Zoya अख्तर की भी एक ही writer friend है जो साथ में लिखते हैं, and like
and Zoya write together. They write.
Yeah, write and direct. Okay, same like Vidhu Vinod and Raju Irani.
Right. So they have their own, like Vidhu Vinod and Raju Irani has got that guy who's written all those Munna Bhais and The Idiots and all that, right? I forget his name. So yeah. Rohit Shetty works with Fahad and his brother, those cousins, है ना? तो हर writer director का एक team बन जाता है जो तालमेल बैठता है, जो you know, and invariably वो तालमेल तब जमता है जब आपकी film successful होती है. So OTT is a marriage between film and TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So which means the storytelling pattern doesn't get into your daily soapish state, but it goes back to the weekly TV of pre-daily soap era.
Got it. Like हफ्ते में एक बार एपिसोड आता था अभी.
जब हफ्ते में एक बार तो वो फॉर्मेट में चला गया, पर उसको ग्रैंड्योर मिला है बिकॉज ऑफ द बजट. बट सब प्लॉट्स जैसे यहाँ पे होते हैं, वहां पे भी सब प्लॉट्स होते हैं. आपको साइड कैरेक्टर्स को भी साथ में लेके चलना पड़ता है, उनकी कहानियां भी आपको डेवलप करनी पड़ती है, उनको भी जस्टिफाई करना पड़ता है. कोई ऐसा नहीं कि एक हीरो है पर उसी की कहानी चल रही है. है ना? So it gets you that film curve canvas, and the taking and the making is like a feature film, you know, and the storytelling is like slightly more towards the film pattern. Okay, whereas in certain aspects it's TV because you have multiple tracks, multiple issues going, you're building timelines for every other character and his arc and his what is happening to him, her, whatever. So that is very TV. So it's a marriage between the two of them. So the craft to a large extent of cinema and the writing of some extent of the pre-daily soap has merged to become what is OTT.
Got it. Yep. Obviously, yeah. There's a, as you said, starting में connect together marriage between daily soap and movies.
See, they came in and they wanted to give a shock treatment to the viewer. That is what they were aiming. Some of these platforms. So which is why the sex part, the exposure part, the gali galoch, everything was part of that shock element, you know, just to shake the viewer and shock the viewer in and titillate that viewer, to be honest.
Yeah, hitting the
not just in the gali galoch and the exposure part of it, but also in the terms of the themes and some plot and subplot, so but that is reduced now to a large extent. And also there's been a big backlash in terms of people objecting to it, and the government coming into it in a big way, and now trying to say that that we will not bring censors, but you'll have to self-regulate, and we will keep a watch on it, and shows like Gandhi Baat and Triple X and all that. I mean, come on, right? It's not porn. I know it's not porn, but it's like on the verge of porn.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
you have very clearly brought it to a point where you know that if मैंने ये अगर लक्ष्मण रेखा क्रॉस कर दी तो ये पॉन हो जाएगा. तो पॉन से पहले के वहां तक करके आपने छोड़ दिया उसको, वैसा हो गया. तो but what are you doing? You're titillating your viewer, right? So your viewer is coming there not to hear good stories. Your viewer is coming there for titillation.
Yeah.
OTT was a platform and is a platform and should be a platform where you explore such wonderful stories which cannot be made into feature films or a daily soap.
In some places when I found that it wasn't required, the senseless था, but it was just put there. Like किधर ऐसा होता है कि some people say कि ऐसा ये वाले specific area में रहना चाहिए, and it's fine. ठीक है, आपने उसको एक because it's OTT तो आपने एक level उसको ऊपर कर दिया, showing that जैसा movies and romance TV serials में भी होता है, तो it just went one step ahead. ठीक है, but some places it was like कि मतलब जानबूझ कर डाल दिया. But yes, perception that is there कि मेरे को आपका point of view जाना था, because you are there as a third party.
See, where it is required, of course, put it. I have no problems with it. As I said, I'm not a prude here saying that अरे ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. नहीं, मुझे ऐसा कुछ नहीं. जहाँ naturally, organically आपकी कहानी में अगर वो आ जाता है तो डाल दो भाई. पर बीच में मुझे ऐसा लगा था कि ये तो जबरदस्ती हो रहा है.
Exactly. वही
जबरदस्ती हो रहा था कि ये लोग यार ये तो होना ही है. मतलब ये क्या हो गया? It was like हमारे 70s में जब हम when I was growing up के एक कैबरे होता था जो आज का आइटम सॉन्ग बन गया. हमारे जमाने में एक कैबरे होता था. तो हेलन और बिंदु और जयश्री टी और पद्मा का एक डॉन के डेन में एक कैबरे का आइटम होता है गाना. ये जरूरी था, इसीलिए हेलन और बिंदु एंड ऑल वर कास्ट बिकॉज उनका वो एक गाना होता था. And they were all styled in the same way. अगर आप 70s के कैबरे सॉन्ग्स करके अगर आप YouTube में डाल दो और आप वो just skip through them, you'll see the costumes are the same, the set looks the same, irrespective of which film you're watching.
Yeah.
So it was a given. So now this became a kind of a given here.
Yep. Agreed with you totally, 100%. So there's this ghostwriters. Okay. So when should a ghostwriter come out? पहले प्लेस पे उसको ghostwriter बनना चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए?
देखो आपके ऊपर आप क्यों आप देखिए क्या है, राइटिंग के लिए अभी ये कोर्सेज तो हैं, लेकिन they are expensive courses because like any specialized thing, these courses are expensive. So everybody cannot afford to join. Secondly, there are people who believe that writing सीखना क्या है उसमें, आप में या तो टैलेंट है या नहीं. जो सही बात है, see, it's a misnomer. Writing cannot be taught, but writing can be learnt.
Yeah.
So how do you learn it? By writing. So even when we do these courses, there is lecturing and all, but most of the learning is through the feedback that we give on what the students write. So if you are not joining any course and you want to learn the craft of writing, the only way you can learn the craft of writing is by writing. So you may not get a chance initially. So you may get a chance to ghostwriting. I will never recommend it to anybody. Yes, you can become an assistant to a well-known writer.
Yeah.
You become an assistant to a well-known writer, you will get paid either monthly salary or per episode or whatever the deal you have with him. That's where you learn, because there is a writer to guide you, the senior to guide you how to write, what to do. You will be part of the discussion, so you know what the discussions are happening.
Basically, you're doing an internship.
You're doing an internship, So it's high time that people do that and, to learn, because that's the only way they learn.
Okay.
Because coming out of an institute, it is all bookish knowledge or, whatever. So you can't really do that.
Got it. But like if someone is a ghostwriter, they should just come out, or it's like...
Yeah, it's pointless. It's you're hurting yourself. You're wasting your time. You're not going to get credit. You'll get money, but how much of that money will you actually enjoy? Because if tomorrow it becomes a success, then you can't jump out and say, "No, ये मैंने लिखा." आप बोले नहीं.
Got it. So like one last question, the TRP calculations, TRP calculator meter, how is it calculated, and उसके basis पे क्या होता है TV and OTT?
From what I am aware of, there are some 10,000 or 15,000 meters which are spread all over various socio-economic demography. These meters are given to your maid's house also, your driver's house also, and also to Ambani's house. I mean, that is the spectrum of why? Because see, television is primarily advertising driven. हमारा subscription revenue उतना बड़ा हुआ नहीं है जितना we should. हालांकि the government has insisted that everybody should go through set-top box and things like that. वो सब हो गया है. Lekin even then, the subscription is very low. We are one of the cheapest countries in terms of money paid for consumption of entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, you go abroad, you go to the UK, US, and you see कि वहाँ पे आप देखो आप नानी आ जाएगी यार वो पैसे भरते भरते.
Internet and calling rates भी कम है हमारे. सब कम है.
So it's very cheap. So the more money comes from advertising. Now, advertising is based on the buying power of the people. You know, जिस शो में higher middle class और rich people shows देखते हैं वहाँ पे आपको डव साबुन या वो दिखेगा.
Spaces.
हाँ, जहाँ पे आपके लोग लोअर मिडिल क्लास के लोग देख रहे हैं वहाँ आपको लाइम या ऐसा कुछ एक cheaper soap का ad दिखेगा because they can afford that. These people can afford this. You know, so a lot of the advertising is based on this demographic. So the people meter, which is the measuring device used to measure the ratings, is placed in all such various stratas of society with different buying power capability. And that is what they do is that they take it from, it's taken Sunday to Saturday. Yeah. But what happens is, so it actually reads, this machine is connected to your set-top box and it actually reads how many hours of television you're consuming in a day and what shows you're watching and how many. So I think you have to watch a show for a good 5 minutes or so for it to register on the rating. नहीं तो आप 2 मिनट देख के आप चैनल भी स्विच करते हो ना तो दैट डजंट गेट काउंटेड. एक्चुअली अभी क्या होता है कि हमको एज राइटर्स कभी कभार चैनल हमसे ये रेटिंग्स जब शेयर करते हैं तो दे गिव अस अ मिनट बाय मिनट एनालिसिस.
गॉट इट.
तो वी गेट टू नो कि अभी अच्छा यहाँ पे ड्रामा शुरू हुआ तो देखो यहाँ पे लोग ज्यादा आने लग गए बिकॉज वी नो के उस मिनट पे एपिसोड में क्या हुआ था. तो वो मिनट बाय मिनट एनालिसिस. तो ये पूरा आपको ये यंत्र जो है जिसको ये पीपल मीटर के इसके थ्रू ये कलेक्ट किया जाता है एंड देन दैट डेटा गेट्स प्रोसेस्ड and it takes about a day or two for that data to get processed. And by Wednesday midnight, it is distributed to everybody.
Same for OTT? Like, is there some meters of OTT as well?
No, OTT platforms, nobody. OTT platform में ऐसा कुछ नहीं. OTT platform में आपको सिर्फ subscription मालूम पड़ेगा and that too, I think Netflix doesn't even share that.
Okay.
It's some of these others share it. Even there, what they are giving you is like, if you notice also ना ये जो social media पे आपको दिखता है रेटिंग्स सो कॉल्ड रेटिंग्स वो
exactly.
होती है आपको व्यूअरशिप दिखता है कि कितने मिलियन व्यूअर्स ने आके ये शो देखा या नहीं देखा.
एग्जैक्टली. तो वो एक एपिसोड भी गिन लेते हैं
वो. एग्जैक्टली. तो वो एक एपिसोड था कि पूरा सीजन देखा कि एक एपिसोड भी कितने घंटे मिनट देखा ये आपको समझ में नहीं आता है. दे आर जस्ट लुकिंग एट द हिट्स. हाउ मेनी पीपल हैव कम एंड कंज्यूम्ड से फैमिली मैन 2 on Amazon because there is no meter, there is no thing like that. What you are getting is the hits. कि कितने लोगों ने आके देखा.
Got it. Okay. So I have one last question with you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
इतना साल हो गए, 3 decades से भी ज्यादा. What is the most embarrassing moment of yours? Like, what is the most shittiest thing you have done in your entire career span?
Lots, sir. Okay, I'll tell you the most embarrassing thing. So I was writing this show for Ekta Kapoor. And so I was at a bungalow in Juhu. And simultaneously, Mrs. Shatrughan Sinha, that is Poonam Sinha, she was producing a show. तो एकता के वहाँ पे because वो discussion कुछ लंबा चला तो वही कुछ समझो ये 2:30-3 बजे का मीटिंग थी मेरी पूनम जी के साथ वहाँ पे. मैं यहीं पे 2:30-3 बज गए. तो अब मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि मैं कब जाऊँ वहाँ पे. And their houses are like 5-6 minutes walking distance between each other. Not to say that I've got stuck here, but to give some other excuse, I called up and their secretary picked up manager and I said, "Sir, madam को कहिए मैं थोड़ा लेट हूँ. क्या मेरी गाड़ी टो हो गई है तो मेरे को जरा पुलिस स्टेशन जाना है वो लेके आना है." तो उस आदमी ने कहा कि अच्छा कहाँ से टो हो गई. अब मुझे बोलना था यहाँ कहीं से जहाँ हुआ. अच्छा आप पहुंच गए क्या सैंटा क्रूज पुलिस स्टेशन. मैं बोला नहीं सर जा रहा हूँ. अच्छा वहां पहुंचने के बाद अब मुझे फोन कीजिए, पीआई मेरा दोस्त है. मैं बोला नहीं सर क्यों आप क्यों फोन. अरे आप हमारे मेहमान हैं आपका कैसे वो. एंड देन इट अकर्ड टू मी दैट शत्रुघ्न सिन्हा वाज एन एमपी. सो ही हैड द कनेक्शंस. मैं ये 20-25 साल पहले की बात कर रहा हूँ. I'm talking about 96-97. Okay. And it was so embarrassing and he kept asking me, PI का नाम बोलिए ना. मैं बात करता हूँ और मैं एकता के घर में बैठा हूँ और मैं उसको बोल रहा हूँ कि मैं सांता क्रूज पुलिस स्टेशन में हूँ. फाइनली ये मीटिंग खत्म हो गई. मैं वहां गया. मैं 3 बजे की मीटिंग थी, तो मैं 3:15, 3:20 को पहुंचा. तो मैं पहुंचा, पूनम जी poor thing came and said कि विनोद, all sorted, I believe your car, ये वो. I said yeah ma'am, all sorted. तो सेक्रेटरी जो था उनका, वो आया, बोला सर आप सैंटा क्रूज पुलिस स्टेशन से इतनी जल्दी कैसे आ गए यहाँ पे? फिर मुझे बोलना पड़ा कि नहीं, मैं थोड़ी ना गया था ना, मेरा ड्राइवर गया था वहां पे.
ओ भाई साहब, भाई इसे बोलते हैं ऑन द स्पॉट स्टोरी राइटिंग.
वही, I had to make up something. यार, what do I do?
Oh shit.
तो ऐसे बच गया. मैं बाहर आया तो मैं जिस डायरेक्टर के साथ गया था, बहुत सीनियर राइटर थे, डायरेक्टर थे जो गुजर गए, लेक टंडन नाम है उनका. तो लेक जी ने मेरे को बोला तू झूठ बोल रहा है पंजाबी में. आज मैं क्या करूं सर, मैं ऐसे. वो मुझे पता था, तेरी गाड़ी तो मैंने देखी एकता के घर के बंगले के बाहर जब मैं आ रहा था.
Oh damn, बाप रे भाई, scam.
So, ऐसे
Man, this was amazing. That perfect ending for this interview. So thank you so much, Vinod, for doing this. I loved it and I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. बहुत सीखने मिला, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Akash, for having me over. It was a pleasure.